Good evening, welcome. I will call the meeting to order at 5:15 p.m. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for joining us this evening for the meeting of Tuesday, November 10th. As I'm sure everyone is aware, we had a special election last Tuesday for the Area 8 seat. We have since been notified that while the Board of Elections Commissioners has informed us that Mr. Hughes, congratulations, is the winner of the election. As such, at this time, I invite County Clerk John Zerlo to administer the oath of appointment to Mr. Wendell Hughes.
And you can come forward as well, hold the Bible for your husband. Wendell, raise your hand, left hand on the Bible, repeat after me. I, Wendell Hughes,
I, Wendell Hughes,
do hereby solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of County Legislator.
and I will faithfully
Discharge the duties
discharge the duties of the Clinton County Legislature
in and for the County of Clinton,
in and for the County of Clinton,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Legislator Hughes.
Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good luck. Hope you enjoy it.
So Pam, I went over this afternoon that,
Let's go.
you certainly can stay and witness this august body, but no one is gonna laugh at you if you take a hard right.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Your advice, Joe.
Thank you.
Especially those-
Wendell, on behalf of the legislature, welcome.
Thank you,
We're
sir.
glad that you're here.
Thank you, guys.
I'm sure you're going to enjoy your position here. We all welcome you. We look forward to working with you, and nice job.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Legislator Rosenclass, congratulations on your election as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice job on your part, sir. Very well done.
Expect no cooperation from Clinton County.
No, not a penny.
I didn't expect it anyway, so I know how the body works.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Zerlo, sir, would you please conduct a roll call?
Mr. Castine.
Present.
Mr. Conroy.
Here.
Mr. Hall.
Here.
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. Hughes.
Here.
Mr. Perrier.
Here.
Mr. Potiker.
Here.
Mr. Rosenquist.
Here.
Mr. Timmons.
Here.
Ms. Waldron.
Here.
We have a quorum. All legislators have received a copy of the stenographer's minutes of the October 28, 2020 regular session. If there are no additions, deletions, or corrections, I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented. So I have a motion by Legislator Hall, second by Legislator Timmons. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I'll now recognize anyone in the audience who wishes to share their thoughts and concerns with the legislature. Please raise your hand if you wish to be recognized. State your name and address for the record, and in accordance with the rules of order, all speakers will be limited to 5 minutes. Is there anyone that I'm missing? I don't see anyone. Okay, no one to speak at the session. We will now go to committee reports. Each legislator chairs one of the 10 standing committees. Then I will call on the chairperson of each committee in alphabetical order by committee, starting with Buildings and Grounds, Legislator Perrier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Building and Grounds Committee met Monday, November 9th. James Cleveland, the Superintendent of Buildings and Grounds, discussed the request for quotes from RF2s for architectural and engineering services. Resolution 659 and 660 have been placed on agenda upon the recommendation of the committee. The next Building and Grounds Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, December 14th at 4:30. End of report.
Thank you. Children and Family Services, Legislator Potter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Children and Family Services Committee met Thursday, November 5th. Resolutions number 661 through 668 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendations. John Redden, the Commissioner of Social Services, discussed the monthly statistics of September 2020. Depending on the number of agenda items, the next Children and Family Services meeting will have to be moved or canceled to accommodate scheduled budget meetings. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Economic Development and County Operations, Mayor-elect Legislator Rosenblatt.
The Economic Development and County Operations Committee has not met since the last regular session. Our next scheduled meeting is going to be held on Thursday, November 12th at 5 p.m. End report.
Thank you, sir. Finance, Legislator Timmons.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee met Wednesday, November 4th. Resolutions 669 and 670 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. Rebecca Murphy, the Deputy County Treasurer, discussed sales tax, occupancy tax, the physical stress report, and 2021 school installments. Sean Lucas, the General Manager of Casella, discussed proposed changes to certain landfill charges. The next meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, November 30th at 5:15 p.m. to discuss the 2021 recommended budget. A subsequent meeting for further discussion on the budget has been scheduled for Tuesday, December 1st. End of report.
Thank you very much. Health, Legislator Walton.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Health Committee met Thursday, November 5th. Resolutions 671 through 676 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. John Canoza, the Director of Public Health, is present to provide a brief update. Depending on the number of agenda items, the next Health Committee meeting will be moved or canceled to accommodate scheduled budget meetings. End of report.
Does John have anything to know?
You're up, John.
Thanks, Patty. Hello, everyone. Just going to provide for you, as I always do, a case numbers update for today that we received final numbers yesterday. We have 11 new cases that occurred yesterday, 5 of those being SUNY students, 6 of them being general community, 1 being a newer case associated with the D&D meat store, and 2 travel-related residents that are now positive and under isolation. So trying to get more information to you all on a regular basis regarding the general background of our cases that come up every day that we're having. As you know, we're having, probably 8 to 10 times more cases these days for reasons that make a lot of sense. And simply people are indoors. They're not outside as much. They're congregating more. Schools are open now. They weren't during the summer, things like that. We do have SUNY going home in about a week and a half, as I understand. So we're seeing that as a potential relief from us having additional cases into the future with SUNY, but they've been doing a great job working with our contact tracing staff. Also, just to let you know, give you a little handle, we've had a total of almost 52,582 tests done for Clinton County residents as of yesterday. So that's a big number. And with that, we're seeing anywhere between 300 to 900 we had last week in one day worth of testing done in Clinton County. Now with that, we're having a lot of, obviously, tests being done. But with the positive cases we're having, we're maintaining a rate of about 0.5 to 0.6, which is pretty darn good for us. We've enjoyed 0.4 in the past, but those days are gone. We're not, I miss the summer, quite frankly, when we had a lot of people outside and we had lower rates. We had lower testing, but we also had lower rates of positive cases. So on another matter, I can let you know, Franklin County, it's a little more in deeper why they had worked with their local school districts up there to recommend to them, that's what they did, they recommended that they go remote, starting very soon, as I understand, I think right after Veterans Day. It is more than that. They also had positive cases at Alice High. They had positive cases in their county nursing home, or I should say nursing homes in the county. And also they did have a couple of school districts, Malone Central and 2 other ones today, where they had positive cases. So it was kind of a mix that pushed them in that direction. And the reason for that mix is because, as you may recognize, the governor's cluster action initiative, where if you have a certain amount of positive test cases for 10 days, over 3.5 or greater, that pushes you into that yellow category. And also paying attention to average daily new cases at or above 12 for 7 days, okay? They were coming close to these thresholds to be put into a yellow category, cluster category. And when that happens, the schools then must initiate, once they breach that category, that threshold, schools must then begin 20% weekly testing of in-person students and faculty, which is a big hurdle for schools to accomplish on their own. So that played into a major part of schools going remote. I wanted to let you know that. I figured that was important. It wasn't based solely on schools. It had a lot to do with a lot of things, as I figured it would. And I did speak with a representative from Franklin County just today on that matter. So just to give you some frame of reference, positive test rates, 3.5 or greater for 10 days. We're at 0.6, as I just mentioned. Average daily new cases at or above 12 for our population for 7 days. For our population, we're at 6.4 right now. So we're doing good, but I must conclude my discussions here by telling you the added cases are really placing a significant burden on our contact tracing and isolation and quarantine staff. Nurses working really hard. It's tough to do all of the case management and contact tracing when you're getting those cases up there and they're not dropping off. We had a little bit of a reprieve yesterday with, I think, somewhere in the order of 26 of our prior positive cases that recovered. That was a good thing. It lowered our cases. But then you hit 11 today, and I'm sure tomorrow will be probably double digits again. That it makes it very hard to keep up with those active cases and all the contacts that they have. And finally, the schools, relative back to the schools again, when you have a school case, it's very important that you all know. It's not like one of us getting sick, okay? We each have 10 or 12 contacts you have to touch base with. Me, probably 4 or 5, maybe the whole health department, I don't know. But when you have a student that is deemed positive for COVID, you've got the bus, you've got their art class, their gym class, their regular class, and God forbid they're not a junior high student that's bouncing around from math to English to social studies and all those classes. So as you can see, to contact trace that number of students down the line, that makes it even more difficult. So that also played into the part with Franklin County making that call to recommend to their school districts to close. So, any questions from anybody?
Hospitalizations now, how are we doing?
We're still doing great. We have 3 positive cases at CVPH right now. We did have our cooperators meeting today. It was a good meeting, to the point, and I'm happy they can maintain that as well. We're seeing lower hospitalization rates. Very happy to see that. Less
John,
people.
are those 3 people Clinton County residents or outside?
I believe 2 are Clinton County, one is outside the county, I believe. Don't hold me to that, that's what I remember talking today. They don't have any persons under investigation right now, so that's a good number. We like to keep those in the single digits. Our number one goal is to protect the hospital. Whatever we gotta do contact tracing wise to hone in and wrestle all contacts and potential positives that need to be under quarantine. We get them in quarantine, get them tested, get them quarantined right away. That's what we try to do, arrest the infection, so.
John, anybody in ICU?
1 person in ICU on a vent. Yes. We've been pretty free and clear from that for, I would say, the last 2 weeks, but yes, we do have 1 COVID patient in ICU right now, as I understand, so.
Any other questions?
Yeah,
Rob?
so if we continue to do double digits, are we gonna have to add contact tracer?
It's a very good question, Rob. I
We
appreciate it. We have been,
place for that.
Mandy, Snee, and I have been working and hard to try to add to supplement our staff that can do contact tracing, isolation, and quarantine decisions. And I've been so happy to have Rochelle Gregory, she's loaning me her deputy, to help out in that, maybe 1 week a month, maybe 2 weeks a month, I don't know. And John Redden is loaning us Kim Peets, a registered nurse. How blessed I am to have that. That's a good thing, to also help us with isolation and quarantine. We also have back Chelsea, our sheriff deputy. She's back from maternity leave. She's helping us now with INQ. And we have MRC members, 2 of them. One, George Miller is one of them, and I cannot think of the other one. So, yeah, we're trying to supplement them as much as we can with where we can beg, borrow, and steal to give help to our isolation and quarantine. Because those ladies are working 9, 12 hours a day, minimum. So, it's just tough keeping up with all the cases. More cases equals more people you gotta call and put on quarantine as needed. So, that's tough. Numbers are not good. So, just keeping up.
Anyone else? Thank you, John.
Thank you. Good seeing you all.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.
See my email, Director?
Yeah, yes, I like that. Thank you. That's a good one.
What am I here? Human Services, Legislator Conroy.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Henry. The Human Services Committee met last week, Wednesday, November 4th. Wendy Bishop, the Nursing Home Administrator, discussed resolutions number 677. Darlene Carlins, the Director of the Office for the Aging, discussed resolutions number 678 through 684. And Steve Bowman, the Director of the Veterans Services Agency, discussed the monthly statistics for October 2020. All resolutions have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation, and the next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, December 2nd. We still have 5:15 here, but we might adjust that, but we'll get back to you on that. I do have an update, good news from the nursing home. I was able to meet with Wendy Bishop as well as James Cleveland came along, and we took a look at the visitation possibilities and opportunities there. As you know, right now people are visiting under the overhang at the cafeteria and talking through the window on cell phones that they got from emergency services. We do have one resolution that's going to come before you soon for a purchase order that Wendy is going to order one of the kind of, it's like a little canvas, almost like a fishing shanty that you slide up against the building, very similar to what Meadowbrook is doing. So that'll be one option that can help us out right in the short term as the weather turns. And the big news is an idea that came from one of the visitors to take there's a door that's you can enter from the outside at the cafeteria. And James Cleveland is working on the idea, basically to create kind of like somewhat like an 8x8 cube that has plexiglass windows in it. So what you would do is the visitor would come through the door from the outside, step into the nursing home, but they're in a sealed room. So there's no interaction, no little holes in the plexiglass for talking or anything. They're in a sealed room. That way we solve the heating problem. So it'll be a warm room because the building's warm. And once they're in there, it'll be a more intimate experience where they can see the residents closer, and it sounds like it could be, a temporary solution, but more long-term than just the visiting through the wall option. So she will also be talking to us about that later this week. James Cleveland's going to be there on site working to figure it out. And what else? Basically, that should help solve this problem for the time being. We all know it'd be nice to have actual visitation happening, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen for a while. And the structure is not going to cost a lot of money. I think the temporary little canvas structure is around $800. Wendy's looking at it now online, and Jim Cleveland thinks he can, for a couple $1,000, build a nice sealed structure there that will be acceptable for the Department of Health. And anyway, a path forward for the time being. And residents obviously have been missing their visitors, and this would be a nice way to improve things for the time being. And I think sometimes we forget that a lot of people in the nursing home don't even realize situation is happening, and they don't understand why they aren't having visitors, they don't understand why people are wearing masks. So this will be a way to kind of at least get people a little closer together and start to solve that problem. And that's all I have.
Thank you. I know that was a topic of conversation in the last committee. Legislator Hall brought that up. I know you did as well. Chris was talking about it. So that sounds like it may be a good solution. So thank you very much. And that was
Yes, and we did
very quickly done.
Well, and we did also discuss it at Mr. Correa's Building and Grounds Committee, so we've talked it through pretty good, and I think it should work. But Wendy will be back in front of us.
Thank you. Personnel. The Personnel Committee met Monday, November 2nd. Kim Kinbaum, the Personnel Director, discussed COVID-19 guidelines for the October 13th, 2020 telework policy and updated the committee on the county travel policy based on New York State Executive Order 205.2. As you will see, resolutions 685 through 698 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendations, and the next meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, December 7th at 4 p.m. That's the end of personnel report. Legislator Hall, Plattsburgh International Airport.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Plattsburgh International Airport Committee has not met since the last regular session. The next Plattsburgh International Airport Committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, November 24th at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety and Legislator Castine.
Yes, sir, Mr. Henry. The Public Safety Committee met Monday, November 2nd. Eric Day, the Director of Emergency Services, discussed resolutions 700 through 702, as well as resolution number 708. J.B. Martineau, the Public Defender, discussed resolution 703. Jamie Rock, the Administrative Assistant at the Child Advocacy Center, was present to discuss resolutions 704 through 707. All resolutions have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendations. The next Public Safety Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, December 7th at 5 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. Transportation, Legislator Hughes.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Henry. Judge McGill was kind enough to sit through the Transportation Committee meeting on yesterday, November 9th. Glenn Cutter, the planning director, and Shannon Thayer, the planning technician, discussed resolution 709 and 710 and the New York State Motor Vehicles Bus Driving Unit fines. Terry Blake, the general manager of Transit Management of Clinton County, Inc., discussed bus seating arrangements and capacity. Carl Weiss, the highway superintendent, discussed resolution 712 through 722 as well as waive rule 13.2, resolution number 731. All resolutions have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. The next Transportation Committee meeting tentatively scheduled for Monday, December 14th at 5:15. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Neatly done. Liaison reports. Board of Health, no report. You heard from Director Canosa. Chamber of Commerce, Legislator Rosenquist.
Yes, sir. We had our meeting last Friday. A lot was discussed on the budget, matching budget from New York State that they're waiting on, and some media work that they're doing. A lot of the initiatives that we're talking about is local campaigns for local, getting people out locally to shop locally. Talk about the next year's fishing tournaments, trade shows, and hopefully some travel across border.
Clinton Community College.
No report.
Okay. Community Services Board, Legislator Conlon.
We haven't had a meeting recently, but there are a couple of updates. I just wanted to mention to people, first of all, that the Spark Committee, which we haven't heard a lot from recently due to the COVID, it is the Substance Prevention and Recovery of Clinton County Group. They're having a meeting on the 19th. I'm not sure the location yet, but it will be focused on alcoholism and its relation to COVID and how that's had an impact. And the other update from the CSB is just continued forward momentum on the Northwoods project that BHSN and DTC are working on that will be alleviating some of the strain on the homeless population as well as
you. Cooperative Extension, Legislator Timmons.
No report, we meet next Tuesday.
Discipline review, Kim, got nothing there, right? Grievance, the same. Inter-county legislator, Walter.
No report.
LC&LG,
No
legislator Walter.
report.
Soil and Water, legislators Perry and/or Timmons.
No report next Thursday.
Workforce Development Board, legislator.
Yes, sir. So, we have our quarterly meeting on Friday, and so I'll have a little bit more for the next regular session. However, if you all recall, the funding piece that was missing from the Federal Department of Labor, where New York State made our local workforce development whole with their opioid displaced worker program, the federal government has now back paid that grant, so to make New York State whole for the monies that they forwarded over to us. So the nice update from at least the
No,
funds
no,
office.
no loss of service. They got temporarily filled it, and this is the final piece, correct, Chris?
Correct, yeah, so the nice part was that there was no loss of service. The New York State stepped in and kind of filled that gap until that other grant came in from the feds. But I do want to thank Elise Stefanik's office for doing that work and really appreciate the support that her office has provided us locally as well.
Thank you. Staff reports. Jackie, Ms. Keller?
Nope, you guys have all been doing a good job of staying out of trouble.
Okay, Mr. Zerl.
Nothing other than we continue to make forward progress on your 2021 spending plan. Kim and Lee are doing outstanding work. She was a little heart failure today when I saw a form, but we found some revenue. I will tell you, and we'll all go through this in great detail, but the budget submissions, how many million down? 13? Yeah. $13 million. So it's, what we're presenting to you is not an expense problem, because we have done, you guys have done, and we've done internally a whole bunch of things to reduce expenses. However, the issue going forward is the lack of revenue. So, we're obviously putting the budget together, counting on a 20% withhold in the state aid, and obviously reduction in sales tax going forward. So even though the expenses are down, the revenues are down to a greater amount. So that is our challenge. We have a plan. We just need to put it on paper and present it to you. And the goal, obviously, is to not exceed the tax cap.
We've got a lot of work on resolutions. So, before voting on the resolutions, I want to note the majority of the resolutions have been thoroughly discussed by the appropriate committees, and the legislature is taking action tonight based in large part on the recommendation of those committees. Mr. Zerlo, will you please read the titles of the resolutions to be acted upon?
Resolution 658, approving change in meeting date of regular session 22, Legislature.
Motion by legislator Timmons, second by legislator Waldron. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 659, authorizing contract with the New York State Unified Court System Buildings and Grounds.
Motion by legislator Perrier, second by legislator Conroy. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
For the record, Mr. Chairman, Legislator Hughes has assured me that he's read every one of these and fully understands every piece of this.
I can't say that I can say that.
So if we have any questions?
Yeah, we'll answer.
Resolution 660, authorizing various contracts for the year 2021 buildings and grounds.
Motion legislator Perrier, second legislator Timmons. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 661, authorizing various contracts for the year 2021 social services.
Motion legislator Potiker, second legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 662, authorizing payment of membership dues for the year 2021 Social Services.
Motion legislator Potiker, second legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 663, authorizing contracts with various foster care facilities for the year 2021. Social Services.
Motion legislator Potiker, second legislator Waldron. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 664, authorizing contracts with various daycare providers for the year 2021. Social Services.
Motion legislator Potiker, second legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 665, authorizing daycare registration funds, grant application and acceptance. Social Services.
Motion legislator Potiker, second legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 666, authorizing child and family service plan. Social Services.
Motion legislator Potiker, second legislator Waldron. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 667, authorizing the municipal comprehensive runaway and homeless youth plan. Social Services.
Motion legislator Potiker, second legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 668, authorizing safe harbor grant application and acceptance. Social Services.
Motion legislator Potiker, second legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 669, authorizing various ongoing contracts with abstract companies. Treasurer's Office.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 670, authorizing contract with Peak Rizek Incorporated. Treasurer's Office.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 671, authorizing various contracts for the year 2021. Mental health and addiction.
Motion legislator Waldron, second legislator Conroy. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 672, authorizing various ongoing contracts for the year 2021. Mental health and addiction.
Motion legislator Waldron, second legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 673, authorizing contract with Suzanne Frazier, mental health and addiction.
Motion legislator Waldron, second legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 674, authorizing payment of membership dues for the year 2021. Mental health and addiction.
Motion legislator Waldron, second legislator Conroy. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 675, authorizing contract amendment with Healthy Incorporated, Health Department.
Motion legislator Waldron, second legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 676, approving reappointment to the Clinton County Board of Health, Health Department.
It'd be 5-5. Mr. Hall, Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
5-5. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 677, authorizing various contracts for the year 2021, a nursing home.
Motion legislator Conroy, second legislator Caston. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 678, authorizing contract amendment with the Senior Citizens Council of Clinton County Incorporated, Office for the Aged.
Motion legislator Conroy, second legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 679, authorizing contract amendment with the Senior Citizens Council of Clinton County, Office for the Aged.
Motion legislator Conroy, second legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 680, authorizing contract with Senior Citizens Council of Clinton County, Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Conroy. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 681, awarding request for proposals for personal care services, Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Conroy. Second, legislator Caston. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 682, authorizing annual update to the four-year plan and accepting annual implementation plan, Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Conroy. Second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 683, authorizing various contracts for the year 2021, Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Conroy. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 684, authorizing a memorandum of understanding with the Clinton County Public Transit, Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Conroy. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion.
This will show up as a revenue in the CCPT budget, so it's one agency, one county agency working with another.
Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 685, approving backfill of permanent full-time motor vehicle license clerk, county clerk.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 686, approving creation of temporary full-time motor vehicle license clerk, county clerk.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 687, approving the reclassification of a vacant permanent full-time principal clerk typist position down to a permanent full-time senior account clerk typist position, nursing home.
Motion, legislator Rosenquist. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 688, approving backfill of permanent full-time nurses aide, nursing home.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 689, approving backfill of permanent part-time activities aide position, nursing home.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 690, approving backfill of permanent full-time account clerk typist position, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 691, approving the creation of a permanent full-time senior custodial worker position, buildings and grounds.
Motion, legislator Rosenquist. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 692, approving backfill of permanent full-time motor equipment operator 1, highway.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 693, approving backfill of permanent full-time assistant public defender's office.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Rob, did you have something?
No.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 694, approving backfill of permanent part-time registered professional nurse, sheriff's department.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 695, approving backfill of permanent part-time registered professional nurse, sheriff's department.
Motion, legislator Rosenquist. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 696, approving backfill of permanent part-time registered professional nurse, sheriff's department.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 697, authorizing various contracts for the year 2021 personnel.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 698, approving payment of 2021 membership dues, personnel.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 699, authorizing Bulletproof Vest Partnership Program grant application and acceptance of Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 700, authorizing payment of membership dues, emergency services.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 701, authorizing sole source purchasing of fire facilities West Tech insulation system for emergency services, fire training tower, emergency services.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 702, authorizing various contracts for the year 2021 emergency services.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 703, authorizing payment of 2021 membership dues, public defender.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 704, authorizing contract with the New York State Office of Children and Family Services, acceptance of District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 705, authorizing contract with the Franklin County Department of Social Services, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 706, authorizing contract with Samaritan Hospital, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 707, amending Resolution 546 dated July 10, 2019, titled, authorizing New York State Office of Victim Services, Victims of Crime Act and Victim and Witness Assistance Grant Acceptance, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 708, authorizing 2017 State Homeland Security Grant Program Extension, Emergency Services.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 709, authorizing contract with Bob's Instant Plumbing, Clinton County Public Transit.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 710, authorizing 2020 round of accelerated transit capital grant application and acceptance, Clinton County Public Transit.
Motion, legislator Hughes, second, legislator Conroy. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 711, awarding bid for bridge undermining scour repair for the years 2021 and 2022, highway.
Motion, legislator Hughes, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 712, awarding bid for the traffic sign posts and accessories for the years 2021 and 2022, highway.
Motion, legislator Hughes, second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 713, awarding bids for aluminum traffic sign blanks for the years 2021 and 2022, highway.
Motion, legislator Hughes, second, legislator Conroy. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 714, awarding bid for construction materials and environmental testing, inspection and sampling services for the years 2021 and 2022 highway.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 715, authorizing the purchasing agent to resolicit bids to supply and deliver vehicle fleet motor oil and lubricants highway.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 716, awarding bids for automotive supplies, bench stock items for the year 2021 highway.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Does this guy know how much money he's spending?
Yeah, I know.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Conroy. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 717, authorizing various contracts for the year 2021 highway.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 718, awarding bids for rental of equipment and manpower for the year 2021 highway.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 719, authorizing contract with the town of Shazy for additional snow and ice services highway.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Conroy. Discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to bring up this, you can see that this contract is an increase of around $12,000. The fact is, it cost the county to do that portion of road $24,000 for the year, so this somewhat of a shared service with the town of Shazy, them picking up an additional section of road actually saved the county $12,000, and, you know, potentially makes the town of Shazy, adds a revenue to the town of Shazy's budget.
We appreciate it. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 720, authorizing engineering services agreement with Barton and LaJudas DPC for the replacement/rehabilitation of the Union Falls Road Bridge over the Saranac River, bridge identification number 333-5670, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 721, authorizing acquisition of real property located on the military turnpike relative to an improvement project at the Champlain Valley Educational Services Plattsburgh Campus. Legislature.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. Roll call.
Sorry, there was a initial concern about traffic in that area, especially bike traffic. We heard nothing back from that.
No, separate issue. This is, as part of that transaction, Chris, there was a tiny strip of land that belonged to Han that went to CVES.
Yeah.
And the highway superintendent in conversations with CVS said, you know, for future right-of-ways and development, it's probably prudent that that land, that title rests with Clinton County.
Okay, separate.
It's
Okay.
not, we did dig into more of that initial discussion, and the exit is only a right turn.
Yes.
So there would be no left turn, which I know was a concern to you
Okay,
originally.
thank you.
You good with that?
Oh, yeah.
Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 722, awarding bid for culvert pipe and fittings for the years 2021 and 2022 highway.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Conroy. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
If he's gonna spend that much, Mr. Henry, I don't know.
I tell you what, I'm really nervous.
He's a Democrat.
Resolution 723, authorizing the county treasurer to decrease appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Clinton County Employment and Training Administration. Employment and training.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 724, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Workforce Investment Act grant, employment, and training.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 725, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Workforce Investment Act grant, employment, and training.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Rosenquist. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 726, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriations and corresponding revenue for the Adolescent Tobacco Use Prevention Act grant, Health Department.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Waldron. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 727, authorizing the county treasurer to decrease appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Children with Special Health Care Needs grant, Health Department.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 728, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the 2020 State Homeland Security State Law Enforcement Terrorism Prevention Program grant, Sheriff Department.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 729, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the high visibility road checks, saturation patrols, DRE call out during impaired driving crackdowns grant, Sheriff Department.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 730, authorizing the county treasurer to decrease appropriation and corresponding revenue for the high visibility crackdown grant, Sheriff Department.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 731, approving appointment to the Clinton County Planning Board, Planning.
5-5, Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I'd like a motion to waive Rule 13.2.
Motion.
I have a motion from legislator Waldron, I have a second with legislator Rosenquist. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 732, authorizing the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services fiscal year 2020 Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities Project Grant Application and Acceptance Highway.
Motion legislator Hughes, second legislator Timmons. Discussion.
Mr. Chairman, we had a fairly lengthy discussion on this at Transportation. This program came out from the state, and we are potentially eligible, so we felt it prudent to apply. The goal would be that county share be paid for by CHIPS. We are not obligated to spend this money, so if for some reason we don't have the state funding available for the local match, we are not locked into $1 million appropriation.
Any discussion?
When will you know?
This will probably be 2022's CHIPS allocation.
Anything further on that? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Before we move on, I'd like to thank you, we had a lot of work there. I'd like to thank the chairs of the committees and the committees themselves for the work they did. I'd also like to thank Mr. Gurl and his staff, and Kim, for all the work that went into this, and there was a lot of work that went into this tonight, so thank you for that. Does anyone have anything else further to come before the legislature?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Simon, I'd like to thank you for the nursing home. I think what's going on, keeping our folks away from their loved ones is a terrible thing, and I think what you're doing is a great job, and keep it up, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I have one question for Michael. Michael, I heard John tonight say about the tracing, and he's got people working on it 12 hours. How's that affecting our budget presently?
The current budget, we were fortunate enough to receive CARES Act funding that is paid and continues to pay for most, if not all, of the overtime associated with those hours.
Thank you.
Jackie, double checking with you. No, Jackie, you don't have anything for executive session, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Legislator Hall. I have a second by Legislator Hughes.
I'll give it to him.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all.